Hello and welcome to Council Action. I'm Russell Inman, and joining us tonight is the Council President and Ward 5 Representative Keith Schildroth. Keith, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. It's always great to be here.
It was a nice meeting tonight. One of those that kind of wasn't too long, wasn't too short, but boy did we have a lot of the public of City of Florissant here in the seats. I haven't seen it so packed, and I don't know if I've ever seen it this packed.
Yeah, there was a lot of folks, family and friends of late Mr. Gary Bellman, who was real active in our community with the Disability Awareness Commission. He did work for over 25 years in the city on the commission, and he did some tremendous work. He passed away earlier this year, and his wife accepted this presentation from the mayor and the city council, and it was very well deserved, and it'd be hard to replace a man of his stature.
It's nice when the mayor and the city council takes the time to really kind of notice these people and and just thank them for their constant effort and really the life that he gave to the city of Florissant.
It sure is. And there was a pretty good crowd of all his family and many friends and many members of the commission, the Disability Awareness Commission, president and past members, and it was a very good turnout for.
Well, Keith, it's not often we see not only one standing ovation for somebody, but two. I mean, where the audience really just got up and applauded his family and his efforts and what they've done.
Yeah,
so it was a neat opportunity, a neat time to be here.
It sure was.
Hearing from citizens, it's always a time for you to come up during the city council meeting and voice your opinions. Tell the council what they may want to look into, or just a little bit of an insight from your perspective. I had a couple members come up tonight, and it's always welcome news. It's not a time for question and feedback, but it's a time for you to talk to your council. We had one public hearing tonight. It was a good kind of good news for the city of Florissant. This is a gas station that's been vacant for quite some time. I think it was an old Sinclair.
It sure was. It's in Ward 4, in Mr. Caputa's ward on Patterson Road, and it's been vacant for several years. And a petitioner was here telling us of his plans. It's been approved by planning and zoning. I think they have to add a couple more parking spots, and they're going to keep one bay open there to do some things and close the other two bays there where they had worked before. And
but the growing trend for gas stations has become more of a convenience store and less of a local service shop.
Sure.
So they're building out on the back to add some coolers. They've got to have more parking lot because they're going to have a bigger convenience store for walk-in traffic.
Sure, and I think it'll be if you ask Mr. Caputa, I will tell you that's a good addition to his neighborhood to have a local service station there again where folks can get gas and convenience items that they need.
They haven't applied for a liquor license yet either, have they?
No, sir, they sure have not. As of this date, no.
And they're going to be building on a canopy. Now, it was interesting. He mentioned that there wouldn't be a price sign. The price would actually just be a part of that canopy.
Yep, that'll be nice.
Excuse me. There's started choking up a little bit. An ordinance for a boundary adjustment.
Yeah, that's going to be by the Northview School, St. Louis County, and Florissant had to do a plot map change with the county, and they're going to be added on to that complex. And this was the second reading for it, and it's going to be a nice addition to that complex. And it's near Nottingham Park, you know, down in between there and North County Tech.
They're actually, I guess, putting together two different 9-acre parcels. One of those was in the county, one of those was in the city?
City boundary, correct.
Okay. And a special use permit for Parsons Oil, that's the gas station. Right. On this one on New Halls Ferry. That's
on Mr. Schmidt's ward, and it's another gas station that's been vacant for a couple of years, and now we have a petitioner who's from Parsons Oil, who has a couple of other stations around town, and they're going to put some business back in there. So that's a nice addition to Halls Ferry.
It's good to see these constant improvements, these vacant properties that have been vacant for some time, and some growth already starting for 2014. Speaking of a vacant property, we've got Monroe Muffler Brake, which is doing business as Auto Tire, moving into the old Firestone.
Right, that Firestone has been vacant for a little while since the new one went into operation a little bit over a year and a half ago down in Lindbergh, closer to the Schnucks Marketplace. And Another business was approved to go in there, but they never could get off the ground. So Monroe Muffler and Brake came to us a couple weeks ago. That's going to be a welcome addition to the shopping center.
Well, just as long as we can fill the space that they leave behind, right? We had a postponement for a park fund investment, so that'll probably come up at a future meeting.
It sure will. We're going to have a work session on Thursday night, the 27th of February, and we'll be discussing
that item.
This item.
Okay.
And hopefully we'll come to closure.
Board appointments, there were several of them tonight. And tell us a little bit, just for the public's sake, if they would be interested in serving onto a board and being appointed, what's the process that they have to take place in?
They would contact the city clerk or the assistant city clerk at 921-5700. And we have various commissions and boards, everything from traffic to senior, disability awareness, planning and zoning, parks, citizens participation, personnel. That's the commission I served on before I got elected to the council. And usually there's openings, and if you're interested in serving on a commission, just please call the city clerk and look on our website. There are also the commissions and the boards are listed. Certain ones the mayor appoints citizens to, and certain ones the council appoints.
Okay. Well, the next item on the agenda that was covered, this was a request that also went into a first reading and was passed. This is a special use permit from Yinju Chen, doing business as China Garden, to Dong China Garden LLC, doing business as China Garden. So the business isn't shutting down. There's no big changes, just an ownership change.
A simple ownership change in Mr. Gribb's ward on Charbonnier.
Okay. Another item that passed tonight was an ordinance authorizing an amendment to a special use permit for Mission Hills Development, which does business as Premier Auto. They're doing some exterior renovations to the property. This is some of the cinder block.
Right, this is Mr. Hernandez's ward, and it's a building that's getting renovations. It's actually, you can't even see it from Lindbergh. It's behind a fence, but they needed to come back to us to, initially this was turned down by planning and zoning, but it was unanimously approved by the council. We don't overturn planning and zoning many times since I've been on the council, but this was just a more of a housekeeping thing, so the petitioner could improve the renovations to the building that's in, like I said before, you can't even see from Lindbergh, so it's just matching what is there now. So
his desire sounded like to have one more space, to have kind of a clean room that you could take nice pictures of the highly detailed cars. We had a couple first readings. An ordinance authorizing a special use permit to Star United, that's the Phillips 66 gas station that we talked about a little bit earlier, and an ordinance appropriating a sum of $156,000 from the General Revenue Fund to capital additions. This is to purchase pieces for the golf course.
Right, this is equipment that's used on the golf course, from mowers to a chemical sprayer, and this is another item that we are going to speak about at our work session on Thursday the 27th. Okay.
Well, council announcements. First off, let's talk about, we had a big power outage just a couple days ago, and the effort that the city played in working with Amber and Yui to get our residents with power again was great.
Yeah, it was terrific. Mr. Hernandez really complimented the administration and the mayor. He had several power poles knocked out on his street on Rockingham. So we, with Mr. Gerald's and our city staff and Ameren, working together, we got the power restored as quickly as we could.
I know, our house was without power, but it came back on after about eight hours or so, and there's a lot of people that dealt with it. But when those winds come through, they're not very forgiving.
Right. I was lucky to have my power. So
there's also a Police Explorer Trivia Night coming up March 29th.
There sure is. Mr. Joe Egan, our councilman, is going to be the MC again, and hopefully I'll be there with former Mayor Lowry and former Police Chief Bob Lowry. So I'm looking forward to that. I've been there before. It's a nice event. And we heard tonight it could be officially announced that Dress Barn is going to fill the old Deals location at Cross Keys Center. So a vacancy filled. Yeah, it's great. They signed a lease, and they'll be going in there. Will they need to come before the city council for anything? Not to my knowledge, no, they sure won't. Well, what else is going on in your ward, Keith? Well, I'm in the process of scheduling a ward meeting in the very near future, And the other thing I wanted to bring up, it's not in my ward, but Walmart has applied for and been granted all their permits to start their building process.
Good.
On Lindbergh, and we don't have a date when they will break ground, but the mayor informed us this week that the Walmart has all their permits that have been granted and signed, so they will be breaking ground shortly, and I'm sure there will be a big announcement about that.
I know we've had a lot of people asking as you walk, as you wander around and just talk about what's coming to Florissant. Well, I thought they were approved. When are they starting? So it's the permit process that has taken some time.
Yeah, I've had quite a few residents ask me about that also.
Good. Well, I appreciate your time tonight. It was a pretty quick show, pretty quick agenda to get through. But thanks for talking it through with the City of Florissant.
Thank you. It's always great being on the show and talking to the residents.
Thank you for watching. I'm Russell Inman. We'll see you next time.